I'm Lance Phillips. 80-0. 80-0. And Chris King showing the effects of what happens when you get 0.
I'm Chris King. This is the worst day of 2018. Everyone gets unlucky sometimes.
Looks good on you, buddy.
It looks awful. I feel gross and slimy in this uni.
Do you really?
Yeah.
It looks good.
Yeah, like almost like nauseous.
Really? All right, it looks good on you, pal.
But a bet's a bet. I'll pay up.
For sure. I would have had to wear that god-awful black and yellow if I had lost.
You would have liked it. Christmas cut all the way down.
Christmas
You would
cut.
be sweating. It's so hot, too.
Lance Phillips, Chris King with you for The Gloves Are Off. Catch us on Twitter at The Gloves TV. Of course, Facebook, The Gloves New Cap. Got a couple of guests on the show this week, King.
Yes, looking forward to that.
Yeah, Toby Cullum and Alissa Anderson. Alissa recently competed at the World Strong Woman / Strongman Championships. World Championship.
Just seeing her makes me a little intimidated. Makes me think maybe I should get to the gym a little more.
Yeah, well, even Toby for that matter. The beard and everything.
Yeah.
He's an intimidating figure too. Really great people. Looking forward to having them on later in the show, so we can catch up with them in a little bit. First of all, Kinger, there was some significant football that went on over the last few days. Some
significant, some poorly played.
Some very poorly played, and we might as well start with the poorly played, shall we?
Let's
with
go
the
for
Buffalo Bills and Tyrod Taylor. Not a good showing. Let's just leave it at that. It was not a good showing for Tyrod Taylor. 17 years the Buffalo Bills have not been in the playoffs. And 17 years the Bills fans waited for 3 points. Kinger, is this the last time we see Tyrod Taylor in a Buffalo Bills uni?
I would love to say yes, but no. He's going to start next season.
No chance.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no chance.
He's under contract next year.
It doesn't matter?
They drafted Nathan Peterman last year, who's not quite ready.
Hot garbage.
Right. And so they have the 21st pick this year. They might draft a QB. Are they going to be ready to play?
They're going to get somebody. There's no way you can go into another season with Tyrod Taylor and Nathan Peterman as your two quarterbacks.
I'm not sitting here telling you Taylor is good or average. I'm going to tell you he's below average, but I don't think there's anything else for them unless they get some old wash up on free agency.
They're gonna have to sign somebody when they're gonna get somebody here. Sorry, I had to do it.
I don't know who they're going to sign.
Very good, bravo. No, there's no way they can't go with this guy again. You can't put up 3 points in your first playoff game in 17 years and allow this guy to start for you again next season. He's been a borderline tire fire for the entire season.
Once again, not disagreeing. I just think with the contract situation, he's going to have to play. Like, you have 1 year left. I think you're going to ride it out, and you're going to try to build the line, and then you're going to draft a QB.
I'd rather, if I'm the Buffalo Bills, I'd rather chew on that 1 year contract with him as the backup and get someone in that can actually win them games. And I mean, he won them enough to get them into the postseason, but you can't put up 3 points in a postseason game that you haven't been in for almost 2 decades. And that's sufficient to, you're our guy for next year. And get rid of Peterman while you're at it. Just say thanks for coming out.
So what do you get if you cut him or you trade him? You're not getting any assets back, right?
You're not going to get anything for him even if you do trade him. But what are you going to trade him for?
Nothing.
Like zero. Just release the guy.
A clipboard and a pylon, maybe.
Well, I guess that's value then in some regard.
But you might not even have a QB there at 21 on the draft board. So
I'm not saying you have to draft a QB. They need to go out and they need to make a trade for somebody. They need to do something. There's a pretty decent QB that's still sitting on the market right now that nobody acquired. And although I don't think they'd pick him up, Colin Kaepernick would be an excellent choice for the Buffalo Bills.
It's a phenomenal QB for them. Keeping it with QBs, Johnny Manziel has gave the Hamilton Tiger Cats till January 31st to make what he calls a fair deal. A fair deal, Lance, is he wants to be the highest paid player in the CFL, or compared to the highest paid, which equals $500,000 a year.
Right.
Would you pay Johnny Manziel $500,000?
I would 100% pay Johnny Manziel $500,000 for the year on a 1 year contract. If I could get Johnny Manziel on a 1 year deal for $500K, I am signing him up immediately for various reasons. I don't think he's going to come in there and win games. I don't think he's going to set the place on fire. Well, he actually might set it on fire in a bad way. But I don't expect him to win a ton of games. But from a marketing perspective, this is a win. I would absolutely sign this guy. He's not only going to put people in the stands, and he's going to get a grace period of a year here. I believe that if he comes in, he has a year. They could go 0-16. He's going to get the year with the Ticats.
Okay. First, marketing. Okay, until he starts doing something dumb like drinking after a game or
totally
partying,
different scenario.
And then your marketing turns to cover up and putting out fires, which is a bigger pain in the butt.
Right.
When that starts happening, those fans that you might put in the seats, I'm not disagreeing, Now you're losing those fans in your fan base. The only good side is if you know you're going to be bad, at least give them a chance to
listen,
be good.
we're going with the fact that the CFL has done their due diligence because they've allowed Randy Ambrosie's allowed him to come into the league now. He said he'd approve a deal. So the CFL has done their due diligence that he's okay to play, and they feel like he's not going to have any fallbacks as it pertains to drugs and alcohol. This guy's a marketing machine. He's not only going to sell merchandise for the team in Canada, he's going to do it in the US. These guys are Vince Young barely played. I don't even think he played for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And Vince Young is selling jerseys in Texas. Saskatchewan Roughrider jerseys. Johnny Manziel is a marketing machine for the Hamilton Tiger Cats if they sign him on a 1-year deal. Beyond that, he has to prove he can win games.
Are you sure he can play? Are we sure he can play?
I believe he can play the game of football. Yes, of course he can play the game of football. Do I think he can go out there and win them, but give them a 500 season? I don't know if he can do that. I don't know if he can or if he can't. Not sure. Doesn't matter. Sign the guy for a year. If he's awful, you only have him for the 1 year. You made a ton of money off him. If he's great, now you can pick him up for another year.
Hopeful.
National championship game was the game that we all wanted, and frankly, the game we all deserved. Alabama, Georgia, and Georgia's not the first Atlanta team to blow a double-digit lead in the second half. But that's besides the point. Alabama wins 26-23. The real story of the game is that Jalen Hurts, the starting quarterback for the Crimson Tide, is pulled after the first half after throwing for under 40 yards and replaced, I got to get this name right, Tua Tagovailoa. I believe I got that right. Replaced by Tua Tagovailoa, who leads the team to a national championship win as a true freshman kinger. Does Tua Tagovailoa start for the Crimson Tide in 2018?
I think he's definitely got the platform. I am not even going to try to say his name because I've tried all day and I'd butcher it. He is going to start next year. I think they'll probably do a little bit of what they did this year with the split quarterback. Now, I had to go back and research this. He was the #1 rated dual threat QB on ESPN's Top 100. He had over 31 Div 1 offers. This kid's a legit QB. He went to Bama. That's why he's not playing as a freshman. I think he goes anywhere else, he's probably playing. So now Bama's got to say, we got two guys. Bigger question is...
Jalen Hurts went 25-2. He's been 25-2 as a starter.
So does one of these guys transfer? There's a question.
Bama can block Hurts from transferring.
Within the conference, right? Isn't it within the conference? Isn't that how that works?
I don't know the answer to that.
I think you got to go... If you come in and win, that's the biggest stage. If you come in and win that game, I think you got the green light to start next season. Do you not?
No, I believe Hurts has got to be the guy to start. Like, this kid has barely played any games. Yeah, he came in a huge, the biggest scenario that he could have come into. But there's something to be said when your team is literally sucking big time in the first half, and you put in a guy and you even get just a few plays happening, your team can kind of get behind him, right? And we've seen that all through the course of the year. We saw it with Penn State and Ohio State. Penn State was crushing Ohio State. Ohio State made some changes, and Penn State was done. And it's the same thing here. They brought in a quarterback, and the Crimson Tide, for lack of a better term, they rolled. Their players played better under Tagovailoa than they did for Hurts. But I still think Hurts is the guy that you have to go with when you start next season.
Yeah, and I'd hate to be Nick Saban answering all those questions about it the entire offseason.
And he's going to.
Yeah.
And that's why he's paid $11 million a year.
The Toronto Raptors lost their star point guard Kyle Lowry to what looks like a back injury. It could be long-term. It might only be up to a week or 10 days. What does this loss mean for the Raptors, Lance?
It means that DeMar DeRozan has a lot of added pressure on him, depending on how long Lowry is going to be out. And I'm not convinced that DeRozan can handle that pressure. He's played pretty well over the last few games, quite a few games. But I don't know if he can handle that pressure because there's going to be a lot of it without Lowry in the lineup.
I think DeRozan's been phenomenal, and I think part of that is because Lowry distributes well. He takes the pressure off. He shoots the ball. Now he's going to have to be the man. If you're looking at what's going to happen now in the backcourt, you might see Freddie Van Fleet, CJ Miles, more minutes. Those aren't your top 5 NBA pros.
No, for sure. And can CJ Miles manage the court like Lowry can?
No.
No, absolutely not. And it puts added pressure on all these guys. JV, and JV's a guy that I am not convinced can handle any sort of pressure at all. No, he's like a glass man out there.
Euro soft right there.
He's super soft, like marshmallow soft out there. It's like the Michelin tire man out there. No, but they just, I'm not sure these guys can handle the pressure. And we're really going to we're going to see here what this team is made of without him. And this is not a third place overall team in the NBA without Kyle Lowry, I don't believe.
No, but if they can hang around and show that they're good enough to compete without him, that's a huge plus, as you're kind of alluding to. Because when I saw this injury, I'm like, they're going to lose a ton of games and bad. Because
And it may not matter. He might only be out. He might only be out for 1 or 2 games.
But regardless, we're going to get to see what they look like without him and see if DeRozan's going to step up and fill those shoes. If it's 1 or 2 or 14 or 15.
You think DeRozan can step up and fill those shoes?
He has to. I think he's going to.
Of course he has to, but do you think he can?
I don't think he can because I don't think his game's well-rounded enough. And I don't think without a point guard getting him the ball in those spots, he's going to suffer a little. Where it'll be interesting to see is can the Dinos make it up on the defensive end with the collective team effort. That'll be the interesting part.
Well, listen, I just don't think they have it. And if he's out for an extended period of time, the Raptors are going to suffer big time. They're going to be in trouble. Same if it's DeRozan who's out. And I think either of those two guys causes a major problem for that team.
Yeah.
The Edmonton Oilers having a major problem themselves. Losers of 6 of 7. They've been outscored 28-10, Kinger, over that 7-game stretch. What is wrong in Edmonton Oilers land? Who's to blame?
Players. I think the players aren't playing up to
Don't believe that
standards.
Todd McClellan or Peter Chiarelli are to blame.
No, I don't think so because I don't think this is essentially a lot of the same team from last year, right? I thought last year they played, we talked about this before on the show. Last year I thought they played a little above their head. Now I think they're playing a little bit below. I think it's going to even out.
A little bit
Chiarelli
below.
doesn't seem too concerned. He's saying they're going to stay the course and ride this out. If they need to make changes next year, they'll make those changes. Right now this club is not playing well. There's holes. And part of that is Talbot hasn't been as good as last year. He would steal games.
Talbot's been fairly bad, to say the least. I mean, a couple stats here. I mean, 312 goals against average and a 901 save percentage. Both those, for goalies that have played over 15 games so far this season, ranked 36 in the league. He's not even in the top 32 teams.
Yeah, that's not great.
No, it's not good. And McDavid and Draisaitl last year, by the way, I'm with you on this, players. This is 100% a player issue. I mean, this team got to the playoffs last year with Todd McClellan and Peter Chiarelli, for that matter.
It's not like he forgot how to coach.
No, it's not like he forgot how to coach, but some of these guys have forgot how to play. McDavid and Draisaitl were in the top 10 in scoring at the end of last season. Currently, McDavid is 10th, and Draisaitl is 56th. And these are the team's top 2 scorers. They're not producing enough.
Well, part of it is they weren't getting on the power play for a long period of time, and now when they're on the power play, sometimes McDavid's not even out there, which means that they're trying to find they're throwing stuff at the wall to try to find some chemistry. So I do think they're going to bounce back a little. I don't see playoffs on the horizon. I think that's a done deal. I think it's now playing to build for next year, unfortunately.
There's no way this is a playoff team. I mean, they're third last in the Pacific. They're third last in the Western Conference. I mean, this is not a playoff team. This is kind of like the plane's on fire, but somebody forgot to pack the parachute. Like, it's which is the worst of two evils, the offense or the defense? Because they're both equally bad.
Yeah, I'm going to say the defense right now at this point.
Can't score goals. You can't put points in the net. You can't win games.
The Oakland Raiders have hired Jon Gruden as their head coach coming back. He's getting paid, wait for it, $10 million per year for 10 years with a possible percentage ownership shares. Lance, what's your thoughts on Gruden coming back?
Wah, 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 wah. That is an absolute fail. Like, what are you doing here? What are we doing? The guy hasn't coached in 9 seasons. He hasn't coached. He's been in the broadcast booth for 9 seasons.
And when he won in Tampa Bay, he took over a team that won the Super Bowl, and then his record was sub 500 after that.
And that's the thing. So he's coached 11 seasons combined with the Bucks and the Raiders. Raiders are bringing him back for a second go at this. He's had 6 winning seasons out of those 11, and made the playoffs 5 times. Let's not even talk about the Super Bowl win. He's 2-4 as a coach in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's not great. And one of the things for coaches, you pointed out the 9 years. As a coach, that's something you need to do every day. Being out of the league for 9 years, a lot of things change. You don't have a feel for your guys. You don't have a feel on the field. Like
you coach, and the game changes. The game changes over 9 years.
Like year to year.
The NFL is not the same game now as it was 9 years ago. That being said, you're a coach. Yeah. I mean, imagine you're out of the game of basketball for 9. The game has changed in 9 years of basketball from now to what it was 9 years ago. So how's it going to change again? Now you decide how do you think you'd fare?
I think it would take me 2 years. I think the first year would be a train wreck, an absolute train wreck. Because you're getting used to totally different style of players. Like, think about the eras. These guys are so entitled now.
Good news for Gruden. They signed him for 10 years. So he's got a couple years that he can absolutely
and he's making
destroy the team.
$10 million a year. Yeah, no, I think it's going to go poorly. And I like Gruden, but if you don't have that experience back there and knowing what to do, who's he hiring for his assistant coaches? That's another concern. guys that coached 10, 15 years ago.
Well, and that's entirely possible, and that might be what he does. I don't know on that front. It'll be amazing to see the coaching staff that he brings on. Like, he might bring Larry Sauer on from Lloydminster.
It's a 90s throwback.
No, for sure it is. For sure it is. Larry, you might be getting the call to the Oakland Raiders, just so you know. But it's going to be a bit of a tire fire, and I can't wait to see what happens.
We're back, and the gloves are still off.
Okay, so we don't have a ton of time here, but we're gonna get started right away. Let's go. Okay, so this is a Twitter account that we've talked about in the past. This is Corporal Matthews at CPL Matthews. So this is a guy out in PEI. This account is genius, like especially when he starts the tweets with mother, like mother, and then it's like he's a soldier from war. It's fantastic, and it's worth a follow. This one, I nearly fell off my chair. I was laughing so hard at. So this comes from a tweet that, according to TSN Vancouver, reports that the Leafs offered Nelson plus picks for Gabranson. And then Corporal Matthews chimes in with early reports indicate that the picks they offered were of Lou in the bath. Like, that is unbelievable. Unbelievable.
The thought of that is just horrifying.
I don't know how, the thought of actually Lou Lamoriello in the bath is absolutely petrifying. But I don't know how you come up with that stuff. That's pure gold.
I think he's got some time on his hands, or he's extremely funny.
Yeah, witty. Well, that's a witty one. I like it.
We got Bar Down, at Bar Down. Cleveland Browns fans had a full, perfect losing season parade, and it was hilarious, and it was packed.
It was packed. Yeah. It was packed.
I especially love the guy that has the sign, "I'm with stupid season ticket holder."
Yeah,
that's gold.
There are a lot of really great signs. Like, there was some really, really good stuff there. Okay, so this is the hockey hangout. So this is the Air Force Falcons hockey head coach, Frank Serratore, and he is, just as they say, he's spitting straight facts. Yeah. He's spitting straight facts.
If you're looking hard enough, you can find a penalty on just about every shift. The great officials know how to manage the game. They know how to manage people. And like I said, I never said one word to the guy. Finally, after the fifth or sixth penalty, you got to stick up for your guys. And I clapped 3 times, and he's looking at me from the other side of the rink, and he didn't hesitate to tee me up. Rather than having the bedside manner to come over, okay, Frank, I got the message. That's enough. But maybe. Hopefully Don Adam will learn with this, work with this guy, and he'll learn this. Hey, maybe some of them never learn. I mean, like, you just never know. Hey, there's 3 things I've never seen in my life. I've never seen Bigfoot, I've never seen the Easter Bunny, and I've never seen a referee say he had a crap game. So I have seen Santa Claus. I actually met him in a bar in San Francisco. Me and my brother Tony. Good dude, Santa. Likes his pops.
I would like to know what bar honestly, he met Santa in.
Yeah. No, it's. I've never seen a ref that said he had a crap game. Like, that sentence is absolutely amazing.
The guy seems like one of those guys you could spend about 2 days with, and he would make you laugh the whole time.
I know. I feel like every coach can relate to that in some effect. Right?
The really good officials will let you know when they goof up.
Do they?
And they do.
In the game or post game?
In the game and post game, they'll tell you after. The ones that are not sure about themselves, they will never.
Hey, do you think that makeup calls exist?
Yes, 100%.
For sure they do, right? They have to.
Yeah.
They have to.
Coaches will never say it out loud. I just said it on TV, national TV. Right
National's a stretch, dude. Let's calm down on that.
They're going to be seeing it nationwide. I got Big Cat coming up here at Barstool Big Cat. Rick Pitino making all the ladies thirsty at the Minnesota game. I can barely read this tweet or look at this picture, but that might be the favorite tweet I've ever seen.
How good is that?
Since Twitter was invented.
How good is that?
And his face is just priceless.
No, it's absolutely amazing. All right. Okay, I don't know if this is real or not. This is unbelievable, and I know I'm going to kind of butcher this name. So this is Slava Malamud, at Slava Malamud, KHL News. Boris Astana, for whatever reason, decided to have a traditional Kazakh ritual before a practice. It involves slaughtering a sheep right on the ice. The blood was sprinkled over the goal to make it magic or something. At Sport Express reports 4 players got sick. There's no way that's real.
I would love to see pictures or like a follow-up.
Dude, I looked for it everywhere. I could not find it. I don't think there'd be photos of a slaughtered sheep out on the ice.
Could you imagine if you're a North American kid 20-year-old, 25-year-old
No.
out there, and you're seeing that happen?
No, I can't.
The next question is, how bad do you have to be to slaughter?
Ah, we got to bang this one out. quick.
Savage. At D Sims 37.
This horse is incredible.
New Orleans culture is so strong, the horse is even second lining.
I've never seen anything like this before.
This
It's
is
not
just great.
technically sports related, but it is amazing.
It's a strong sports community.
The cop is just cool and collected, right?
Yeah, the cops chill. Everyone on the streets chill about this, and the horse is loving it.
The horse loves
loving
it. That's awesome stuff. You don't get that kind of stuff very often. All right, I got one more. I think we can do right here. June Lee, I am June Lee. The year is 2199. Nuclear warfare has ended the world. From the distance, through clouds of smoke, Marvin Lewis emerges from the rubble wearing a Bengals cap, clipboard in hand. How is he still? How did they re-sign this guy?
It's almost like when guys get in the NFL, they're just there forever. Like they're just gonna hang around, head coach.
He's been bad though. His team's been bad. Andy Dalton's been bad. I don't know if Marvin Lewis has been that bad.
Well, just your reflection of your program, essentially, right?
Fair enough. Sign him for 2 more years.
He'll stick around.
If you can't score, you might as well drop the gloves.
Welcome back, folks. A couple of strong people in the room, and it's not us.
Not over here.
Not here. Not here at all. But it is here. Alissa Anderson and Toby Cullum. Alissa just recently competed in the World Strong Women Championships.
That's correct. Yeah, you bet.
There were 30 women in this.
In my weight class, yeah.
Right. And what place did you get?
I got 16th.
16th. That's pretty good.
Yes.
That's pretty good.
I would say amazing, but I'm
Amazingly
sure she
good.
doesn't feel that way.
That's impressive. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's really
Yeah.
awesome. I mean, there's so many questions to ask here, right? How was the experience?
It was crazy. Overwhelming. That was
Yeah.
the craziest part. Like I've been to a lot of competitions and regionals. This is worlds. I was like a couple, kind of platforms down was Big Z. Four times world's strongest man was like 4 platforms down, right? I mean, it was crazy. There's so many people. It was so loud in that arena. I don't know. It was overwhelming.
That's awesome. How was the training? Training was okay from the guy beside you there? It was all right?
Yeah, it was okay.
Toby, what was the experience like for you to be there watching her and being around these guys? I know you've competed in strongman as well.
It's always good to go out and see it. It helps me bring something else to the table when we go other places. Like hopefully she still gets her shot at Arnold's, and just being around something that's got so much going all the time. 5 platforms, 260 people, like going. It shows me where I can, try to break her concentration. Sometimes you get so worked up, you can actually see spots where you're like, okay, take a deep breath, step back, and then hammer it off. It's for as much as it is a learning tool for her, it's for me as well. And it was just amazing to see. Like
crazy.
It was just ants everywhere, just busy, man. Wow. Yeah.
Well, I saw a couple of the pictures in terms of like the mental side of that compared to the events you've been at. Where was your focus, and how did you have to refocus? Because this obviously had to be a totally different beast than what you've been used to.
Oh, for sure, and that was the hardest part is the mental game. I mean, I knew I was strong enough to do what I needed to do. It's just,
Right.
and it really showed up in the first event. The first event, definitely even when you were there, I hit a 175 log. I was confident. I knew, in training I can hit 160 no problem. Yesterday I hit a 165. Like I go up to that platform, they call your name, and if you don't hear your name, you zero. And one of my friends did that, and so I was panicking and like waiting for my name to be called. Your name's called, and they say take your grip, and you have 30 seconds. And so you haven't even taken your grip yet, and you're like, oh, I'm panicking. And so I ended up getting 155 max on that event. And so I did. Mentally, that was where I failed on that event. I definitely could have gotten up to 175. I did get 9th in that event, but yeah, as far as I'm concerned, I choked and failed.
I actually feel bad because like when she missed her log, if I had been able to get closer, like I try to watch the time and whatnot, I could have said, deep breath, step back, attack kind of thing. We go at it as a team. It's all about her, but we go at it together, and that's just the way it is. it's like every other sport. You ride the wave, and when it crashes, it hurts.
Oh, yeah.
Can I step back a little bit here? I know both of you went to Lloyd Comp, but you weren't into this when you were at high school, were you?
No. Yeah, I didn't touch a weight until, 23.
How did that progress to strong woman, strong man?
Right. We were training together, and he's like, I want to do something crazy. I'm going to go try the strongman stuff. And I was like, okay, that sounds crazy. I'll help you. But we ended up showing up at the event. They didn't have enough women. So I said, you gotta go in here. And I said, this is crazy. No. And then I'm like, I haven't even trained for this stuff. I don't know what's going on. And then I'm like, as long as none of you laugh at me, I will go in this event. And there was 4 of us. I was the lightest girl, and I'm getting 3rd there and qualifying for provincials that year. So I was just like, okay, well, I guess we're doing this.
That's a unique way to get into the sport. Just kind of getting thrown to the fire.
Oh my goodness.
That's how it happened.
Yeah.
The first event was a truck pull too. It wasn't just we'll lift something. No, it was a truck pull. Like, it was ridiculous.
Truck, give it a yank.
Yeah.
Seated truck
Never
pull.
done that before. I was like, okay.
I guess you're all in at that point, so why not?
Yeah, exactly.
And Toby, I mean, you've shown me pictures of you pulling, I don't know, it was like a Mack truck or something. That one photo.
There was we did a fire truck, a ladder truck up in Cold Lake. I've done your Western Stars, Volvos, pretty much anything I can tie myself to.
So here's a guy attached to a harness with a rope on, and he's pulling a truck. And there's a guy just standing there watching him. I'd hate to be the guy standing there watching you, like, because this guy's pulling a truck and I'm just standing here. it'd just shatter your confidence.
It's already shattered just sitting here.
Yeah,
Now I know if
I'm
my car
slouching
breaks
into this
down.
chair more and more as we go along here.
Yeah, my posture's getting pretty low.
Toby, when was the last time you did strongman?
Would have been nationals, so that was end of September.
It's like such a long time ago, yeah.
So it wasn't that long ago.
No.
When are you hoping to get back into it?
Well, there's a couple events at the start of the year coming up here. I just want to see where I'm actually situated before I go into it. There's one in Edmonton. It's called Yoke Fest.
Charity one, that was nice.
Great name.
Yoke Fest.
Yeah.
Just people carrying yokes.
That's exactly
It's
what it
5 different events, all centered around the yoke and whatnot. But other than that, I think we're gonna just.
2018, the events, like the competitions, really haven't been announced yet. So as far as qualifiers, nothing's been really been
I think we'll just keep plugging away with our heavy training, and we'll still keep an eye on the Arnolds.
Right.
And from there, we'll just take her as she comes. There's a few events a bunch of my friends want me to come down to in the States, but it's as fun as the sports are between the Highland and the strongman. It all centers around money and time, right?
That's interesting. Yeah. It was interesting, Toby, you mentioned money, and because this isn't cheap to go to these events. It costs. How do you guys do it? I know you have some sponsors on board. How helpful have they been to this whole process?
Oh man, it's been amazing. Like I think, for our actual major events like nationals and worlds and stuff, you got people stepping up, and it's in a town that's more centered around hockey and stuff. They're not overly willing to give out money to people that in a sport that nobody actually pays attention to right now.
Fair.
Like Rhino Roofing came across huge.
That's
and you still got Even Star Fitness, who allows us to come in there and throw our stuff around, which is huge. But with all the people that are backing us, it actually makes it a lot more manageable, and it makes the horizon a little easier to get to once in a while. You want to get to the peak of the mountain, and you got people that follow you and say, that's just amazing. The two of you are just kind of gunning it off the hip and giving it a whirl, and they back you. It's so nice for the smaller communities like this that has so many small companies. They're like, yeah, you know what? That's cool. Like, we kind of understand where you're coming from, and we'll give you what we can, and that's amazing.
It's awesome to see the community obviously coming through to help young athletes or like aspiring athletes to meet their goals. In terms of the competition, Tell me a little about the water cutting. We talked a little bit before. That process seems unreal to me. Explain how that goes.
It's so painful. It's so painful. It's like,
Why are we doing this?
It's just so interesting that you have to fluctuate.
it's a lot like wrestling or MMA, cutting weight. So I mean, at the competition, so I'm in the 64 kilogram weight class, which is essentially 140 pounds. I walk around at 150 pounds, and the Canadian weight class is 150 pounds. So that's generally where I stay. So to cut down, it seems like, oh, it's 10 pounds, just stop eating, right? It's easy, right? But you want to keep as much muscle as possible,
Exactly.
right? So dieted down for 3 months to shave off as much fat as I possibly could without affecting performance. And then the week before is when you start water loading, so you drink 8 liters of water a day. And then a couple days out, you taper down your water. And then, of course, I had to fly as well. So 48 hours of no food, 24 hours no water. Then I had to fly while there was no food, no water, so it was a pleasant person. and then you get, we were approximately, we were just about 12 hours out from weigh-ins is when I started doing hot water baths. So you put the bath as hot as humanly possible. You get in so you don't burn yourself, and you sit in there with it up to your neck. And I had a toque on as well, so you had a toque on.
Right. So you lose more heat.
Yeah, exactly. So you could sweat out as much as possible, and you stay in there until you feel like you can't breathe, and like the world's closing in on you until you feel like you're blacking out. That's why he was there. And then you get out, and then you put on a sauna suit, and then you cover yourself in blankets and sit on until you feel a little bit better, feel like you can kind of breathe again, and then you get back in the bath. And you do that as many times as possible until you make weight. And that night, I bottomed out at 141, and my scale's heavy. And you have to take into account that the scale's probably going to be heavy for weigh-ins, right? And how does your scale compare?
Just in case, yeah.
Yeah, so I was about 141. I had to do another hot bath the next morning. And then I weighed in at 137, which was nice. So, yeah.
4 pounds
overnight.
Yeah.
So then what did you bounce back to compete? This is mind-blowing for us. Yeah. We can't lose 10 pounds in a year, and you did it ASAP. Okay, so the competition weight, once you're doing the events, you're back up to?
Yeah, so I got off the plane at 146, and then the next morning I weighed in at 137 for weigh-ins, so it was 137. And then after that we went to IHOP. I ate and drank as much as humanly possible. Like,
Good.
You feel nauseous, you wait a little bit, and then you eat more, and just force feeding. I ended up, the next morning I weighed in at 155.
Yeah.
And then I competed at 160.
160.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
How do you? I don't understand. I mean, I feel like I have a pretty good grip on nutrition and how it pertains to body mass, and I feel like I have a good grip on that just from years of doing fitness. Although I don't look like it right now. I can't comprehend going from the 130s to 160.
Yeah.
Especially the not eating.
And how long was that? A day or 2 days?
Yeah. So it was a 24-hour weigh-in.
24 hour, yeah.
So 137, 24 hours. I was 160. Yeah.
I know.
I don't know what to say.
What kind of changes as a coach did you see her go through? Because if we don't eat breakfast
Besides the obvious.
by lunch, I'm angry at everyone. Everyone.
The hangry man.
Yeah.
She's getting, we'll just say she's getting better at it. Nowadays, I don't actually have to wear that dog handler suit you see in those canine movies or anything. But, it's, things are like...
You get to the point where you're so dazed, you're like,
the more that we kind of do this stuff together and whatnot, you just got to be supportive because you know what the end goal is, and basically, I'm there to pick her up, throw her on the bed, let her go to sleep for a little bit, and then let her do her thing again. And it's like I seen the look on your guys' face, how your mind was blown from the airplane to the bath part, but
I've just never heard of it.
Yeah, no,
and I mean, believe me when I tell you, I've been involved in fitness, for the last quite a few years. I've never heard of that.
It's phenomenal what and that was just minor what she does. Like some of the people will actually drop 25, 30 pounds.
Yeah.
Like some of these guys are just crazy.
Yeah.
And not just guys, but women too. Yeah. But they want to come down to the most optimal level that they think they can get to and compete. And that's why
the more weight you have, the stronger you are.
There's such a different science behind it, hey, on your guys' side.
Well, compared to like bodybuilding shows.
Yeah.
Is that what you were just referring to?
Yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, because that's a totally different thing. My sister's been involved in that, and that is, the difference with that is you're at your weakest when you get into those shows, because your body's just like, you know.
Absolutely.
Like if you've seen Ronnie Coleman when he's done competing, like he swells up to a very large man, but like he gets up on stage and like he's a road map kind of thing, like veins and everything popping out.
So what is next?
Fingers crossed, Arnold.
We'll see.
That's a big deal too. Like,
That's
probably
a big
the
deal
world's
to
most
me.
recognized event for bodybuilding and strongman.
It's the biggest. What is it? The biggest athletic expo in North America
that makes
every
sense.
year.
That was the quintessential. You've made it in strongman.
Yes.
And it's only Arnold amateurs at this point, but there's also Arnold Pro strongwoman. But nationals, a couple points off of qualifying for Arnold's. Like at that point, that was crushing to me. So I got to go to Worlds, which was awesome and great. It's kind of putting a Band-Aid on that wound. But there's a possibility I can be invited because I did so well at Worlds. But I'm not holding my breath. But
if not
this year, then next year. Then
awesome.
that'll be the goal: is do provincials, nationals, and going to Arnold's
You
next
just
year.
go hard at it for next year. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. In 3 years to make it all the way up to a world competition is phenomenal.
Incredible. Yeah.
It's whether she likes to admit it or not, she did amazing.
It's mind blowing, and I think it's really cool. And I'm looking forward to seeing more stuff from you guys. And Toby, I want to know when you're doing some competition as well.
Well, one of these days, if the weather holds out, we'll drag you guys out. We can do a little bit of this outside, and you can.
I hope you got some 10-pound balls for us.
Those little ones at the gym, those little medicine balls, will be perfect.
I think they got some of those Nerf ones that we can line up for.
That's awesome. That's perfect. Guys, thank you so much for coming by. I think it's an incredible accomplishment what you've done. I mean, it's so cool, and it's just an event, like you said, Toby. It's not well known anywhere really, but it's really not well known here, and I think it's cool to bring awareness to these lesser known sports because they are every bit, maybe even more incredible than your mainstream sports. You have these people doing these things like you guys. I think that's really cool stuff.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you. That's awesome.
Pleasure is all ours, for sure.
Yes, for sure.
We're back. You can keep your gloves on, but ours are off.
So what do you think of Toby and Alissa?
I think they're awesome, and they are chiseled.
Yeah, Alyssa's pretty impressive what she can do.
Yeah, and especially what she put her body through.
It's just, it's mind-blowing.
She wants more, and she's just so excited for the next competition. It's awesome to see someone so passionate in their field.
Yeah, she's a veterinarian by day. She's a veterinarian by day. We didn't get into that, obviously, but
that's unbelievable.
She's a vet, so she lives in St. Paul, veterinarian by day, and then comes down here and trains with Toby at Even Star Fitness.
And throws heavy stuff around.
Big time, real heavy stuff. Like moving 550-pound objects around on the backs of her shoulders.
That's awesome.
Like I said before, I feel pretty insignificant right now. Okay, let's do some shock, no shock. What do you started off here. What do you got?
Sure. Jonathan Herdman, the very successful senior national team coach for the women's soccer program.
What a debacle.
Back-to-back bronze medals at the Olympics, has now shifted over to the men's program. Are we shocked or not shocked?
Yeah, we're 100% shocked. And I think that the shock doesn't lie just with me. It lies with the players of the women's team. I mean, it sounds like, by all accounts, they did not tell Canada's best ever women's soccer player, maybe Canada's best ever soccer player in general, total, Christine Sinclair, that he was leaving the women's team.
When you look at the girls on Twitter, everything's like shocked emojis and faces. So I don't think they handled this well. Once again,
who didn't handle it well? The team or
Canada Soccer Canada.
Terrible.
Especially because he's built this program. I get it, maybe it's more money or a bigger stage, but he built this program. I thought he would stay with it. I'm disappointed, and I'm very shocked that he switched over.
It's extremely shocking. DeMar DeRozan, who we were talking about earlier, is averaging 35.5 points per game over his last 4 games. We shocked? Are we not shocked by this?
Very shocked. I did not see this coming, especially because he's not shooting the ball great still from 3. He's getting to the rim. His pull-up...
Not shooting 33%
is what I asked.
33%.
Yeah,
right,
which just throw it up there, man. But yeah, I'm very shocked by this, but I'm also impressed that he's pulling this off.
Hopefully he can continue to do it with K-dub out.
Yeah.
KL, sorry, KL out.
KL.
K-dub, I'm worried.
K-dub-L. So here's one for you. I'm sure this is going to be shocking for you. The Rustlers women's basketball coach, myself, got a T in the first quarter of the first game of the 2018 season. Are you shocked or not shocked by this? In an exhibition game.
In an exhibition game, yeah, because they haven't played league yet. No, I'm not shocked at all by that. Just one throughout the whole game?
Just one, about 4 minutes into the first quarter. First one of the year.
Was he your favorite official?
No, actually, you know what? I like him. He's a good official, but
Okay.
I said something. I was sitting down casually and said something to my assistant coach, maybe too loud.
So
Yeah, started 2018 off right. Yeah.
That's the only way to start it is with a quick T
Yeah.
and then an ejection if you can get there. But you didn't get there. That's good.
Did not,
Okay.
no.
A recent concussion study revealed that CFL players hide the symptoms from teams. Are you shocked or
I am
not shocked?
shocked by
no,
that.
how could you be shocked by
I
this?
think the guys are starting to figure out the testing protocol.
For sure they
and athletes want to play. End of the day, and they know they're only going to get to play for so long.
It's
so
incredible.
Yeah.
That so long becomes shorter, especially with this type of stuff, right?
Right.
Like that so long can be over like that. Like it can end in a split second.
I agree. It's really scary for the CFL, and obviously that's probably happening in the CFL and NFL.
Guaranteed. Maybe more so in the NFL, given how much those players are paid to play the game.
Yeah, that's a great one. The LA Clippers next are 7-3 in their last 10 since Blake Griffin has returned. Are you shocked or not shocked that they've been able to rattle off these wins?
Yeah, that's pretty shocking, I think.
Yeah.
Because they're not a very good team.
No, I agree. When I look at their roster, I think that's a poor basketball club. But 7-3 in the West is good.
For sure it is.
And Griffin, I hate Griffin. I hate watching him play. But
Really?
he is.
You hate him as a person? That's a strong term.
He's actually kind of funny on TV.
You don't really know the guy.
I hate his game.
Okay,
I
you
hate
don't like
the way
his
he
game.
plays
Okay,
basketball.
Fair enough.
That was
What don't you like about his game?
That came across really emotional. Hey, I hate him. I just hate his
I
game.
hate that guy.
Yeah.
I don't even know him, but I just hate him. What do you not like about his game?
He's just very herky-jerky, all to the rim. Like he was a baby. He whines all the time.
does whine a lot.
Yeah,
He does
I could
whine
go
a lot.
on forever.
He's like the LeBron James of the Western Conference.
Yeah.
Okay. Tua Tagovailoa thanked God twice in his post-game interview.
Okay.
Are you shocked or not
I
shocked that he,
missed the post game.
yeah, he did it twice?
I'm shocked because I thought you only need to thank him once.
You don't it's kind of like I don't have any problem with the religion side,
Yeah.
but just stop thanking God all the time.
He was probably like so excited that he got on TV and won the game that he just kept thanking him.
You don't need to thank God though every
Yeah.
interview.
I'm okay with the
He
Hail
did it
Mary.
twice.
Yeah.
I would not.
If you can't score, you might as well drop the gloves.
This is going to be a quick one. Bold predictions. We're going to do something different, though, coming up on our next bold predictions, courtesy of you. I thought it was a pretty solid idea.
Yeah, I just want us to revisit some of our predictions and see where we were right and wrong. I assume we're right most of the time.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. Definitely.
So that'll be good.
Yeah. I'll start it off. Both Peter Chiarelli and Todd McClellan will be fired before the end of January.
That's very bold, and I would say wrong, but very bold.
You think they're going to be there for the
I think they're
remainder
going to
of the
be
year?
there. Yeah. You think they're gone?
I do not think this tandem will last but till the end of January.
That is bold. Okay.
They're going to have to make something's got to give here, and it's going to be those two.
That fan base is very finicky. So
Something's got to give.
Yeah.
You went a decade in the darkness, finally made the playoffs, and now you're not going to make the playoffs again with the same lineup, basically.
yeah, you're back in the light. Speaking of hockey, Lloydminster Bandits have lost 10 of their last 12 games. They have 11 games left, Lance. They will win 7 of those games down the stretch. 7 of 11 down the stretch.
They play Saddle Lake.
Yes, one game.
That's an automatic win. That's a
6 of
bold
10.
prediction. I'm gonna go with that. That's a bold prediction. I like it. I think it's possible. They have a good team. I mean, they shouldn't be floundering the way they are right now.
Yeah, I think they'll fix their chemistry. A little chemistry issue.
Jaromir Jagr's NHL career is done. He's injured. He's not playing for the Calgary Flames. He's done.
That's bold, and I agree with you. I don't think he's coming back. I think
He's finished.
Yeah, I think he'll play in the Olympics and stay
Which
overseas.
is shocking considering he wasn't awful last year.
No, I think it would have been the right situation this year. I think he's just decided I want to play in the Olympics, and and go play in Europe. He'll get paid just as much.
Well, all right, keep it rolling. Apparently we got some more time.
Okay, Pittsburgh Steelers will beat Jacksonville by 20-plus points.
No way. That's crazy bold.
Now,
if
that
Blake
is
Bortles
a
has the
fan.
game that he had against the Buffalo Bills, they'll beat them by 40. But that's bold. I don't see that happening. Is that the fan in you coming out?
A little bit. I don't know how you defend Bell and Brown, and I think going to Heinz Field makes it tough on Jacksonville. Like I could see them scoring 6 or 7 points, 2 field goals or a TD, and I think that the Steelers are going to put up a ton of points. They're going to be healthy and ready to go.
So are you seeing the Steelers and the Patriots in the
Yeah.
AFC Championship?
Yeah, and unfortunately, I am a Steelers fan. I think the Patriots will beat the Steelers. Unfortunately, yeah.
You think the Patriots win the Super Bowl?
I don't want them to win
I think
this.
the Eagles will. Because the Eagles are going to be in the Super
know what,
Bowl,
it's-
as per my previous bold
Yes,
prediction.
I know. We're going to have to revisit that next week.
We will when they're playing for an NFC Championship.
Halfway. They're going to be halfway.
Rustlers women's volleyball will run the table and win a national championship. The perfect season.
Bold, and yeah, I'm on board with that. I think.
I mean, you have to be on board
Yeah.
with it,
No,
basically.
they have-
can't say you're not on board with
they
that,
have the
right?
tools, yeah. Like if you look at them this
No,
week.
but are you even allowed to say that you're not on
Oh,
board with that?
I could say that, but I believe in the
Are you
program.
sure?
Yeah, like technically I could.
I feel like you're restricted
I
here.
might get fired, I guess, like technically.
No, I disagree with that.
And I would tell you if my program is weak or if we're struggling, but no, they
Look
got
at-
a very good shot.
Look,
at
they
doing that.
handled Concordia, and half the team is sick as a dog.
Yeah, and they've just came back from.
Monica Coos didn't play one set on Saturday. They didn't even get in the game on Saturday.
Yeah, no, the team's phenomenal, and we've said this before. If you haven't seen them play, that's the #1 team in the nation. You're not going to see too many
Look,
volleyball teams that strong.
I gotta step up here and say that if you're a sports fan in the border city, come out to the Lakeland Gym and watch this team play. For that matter, watch the men's team play. Men's team isn't having a great season, but it's good volleyball to watch. But the women's team is the #1 ranked team in the country. They've been that way the entire year, and the place was not half full when they beat Concordia 3-0.
And
Come out and watch this team play. This is a team in your own backyard that won a national championship that is, according to my bold prediction, going to win another one. Come on out. How much is it to get in there? $5?
$7 for
And
an
you
adult.
can drink beers in
I
there.
was just gonna say the best part is you can drink beer and watch a volleyball game.
Ah, Kinger.
There's
Don't
nothing
watch
better
the
than
women's
that.
basketball team, though. Yikes. Just kidding, buddy.
You're always getting entertainment with the women's basketball.
Thanks
team.
for watching.